Welcome to another episode of Real Estate, Real Life, Real Talk, Real Live with the Real Secrets of Money with your host, myself, Damon J. Brockenberry, the extraordinary. I want to thank each and every one of you all for joining me today. Today is Friday, September the 26th, 2025. Time is fine, y'all. Please, if you're not already following me, please follow me on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Threads, TikTok, YouTube, and Pinterest. So, as always, I like to jump into the wonderful world of real estate. So, today I'm going to talk about the three credit bureaus. And the reason why I'm going to emphasize on this because credit is very crucial to our everyday lives, not just in the wonderful world of real estate, but in all aspects of our lives. And I want to hopefully give people some tidbits to help them to increase and improve on their credit, because credit, like I said, affects us all. So I wanted to first explain there are three credit bureaus. There is Equifax, there is Expedia, and there is TransUnion. All three of these bureaus, they are similar, but they're not the same. For example, when you go to purchase a car, when you apply for a credit card, if you rent a place to live, they tend to pull from either of these bureaus. They don't pull from all three at the same time. The only people who pull from all three at the same time is normally a lender when you're looking to purchase a home. They would tend to pull from all three bureaus and they will focus on your middle score mainly with the three bureaus when you're looking to purchase a home. So, for example, again, with lenders, when they do pull your three credit scores, they focus and look for a credit score of 640 or higher. Now, there are many lenders who can work with credits as low as 580, but normally when they go down to 580, it's going to cost you, the borrower, money. Meaning, if you have cash and you don't have the credit and you're at 580 and above, lenders can work with you because it's going to cost. The rule of thumb is when you're unorganized, when you have bad credit, it's going to cost you money. So because of these things, please keep that into consideration. Now, I want to also give information like when a person is applying for a home, if they apply for a home and they allow any lender pull their credit within a certain time period, and it's normally within 30 days or less, but we like to keep it close as possible. I like to say within 2 weeks. It all counts as one hard inquiry. So whether it's one lender who's requesting your information or whether it's 21, it all still counts as one hard inquiry, even though it shows up on your report 21 times, but you're not going to get dinged 21 times. And this because all three bureaus are aware that a borrower is looking to purchase a home and that they're actually shopping. They know people shop around for special interest rate when it pertains to mortgage, just like they do when it pertains to cars. Now, also keep in mind that when you yourself pull your own credit report, that's considered a soft inquiry. Now, some people tend to think it's a hard inquiry, but it's actually a soft one because you are the owner of your report. So they're not going to punish you for wanting to know what your credit score is. Now, again, you can get a free annual credit report. It will not have your score on it, though. It will have all of the, whatever's going on with your credit. If you want your score, you can easily purchase it. It's relatively like 15 under $20 in most cases. Listen, that's relatively inexpensive because when people go out, they spend more than $20 on a drink. Invest in yourself, spend $20 to get your credit score. I would strongly recommend it if you have not pulled your credit report this year, that you do so. I know some things can seem timely, tedious. People don't want to deal with it. But like I said, credit is very critical. Now, when it pertains to credit, a lot of times, many of us have credit cards, even though we only need one credit card. But the rule of thumb is when you get one, all of them are going to offer you a credit card. And many times they're going to approve your credit card as well, too, your credit card application. So the rule of thumb is we only need one credit card. But at the same time, though, many of us have more than one credit card. Now, A lot of people tend to max out their credit card because they tend to think of it as free money, but it's not really free money. What I want people to understand is if you want to increase your credit score, make sure that your credit balance on your credit card is under the 30 percentile mark. Now, of course, if it goes down, like say if you have $1,000 credit limit and you bring it down to 900, your credit is not really going to be affected. It's just they're going to say, okay, you're under the limit. If you bring it under 500, you might increase a couple of points. If you bring it down under 30%, which will be under 300, your score will go up much higher. And if you keep it there, if you can use your credit card and pay off the balance every month, meaning if you use $300 of your credit card and you pay $300 every month, these taxes will help you to increase your credit score, and in many cases will actually boost your credit limit, because what you're showing the credit card company is that you are a very good payer and they want to give you more limit to use, because of course they must make money off you using, but they also make money off them charging you the interest rate, whatever interest rate you're being charged. So in many cases the interest rates vary. The higher your credit score is, the lower your interest rate. The worse your credit score is, the higher your interest rate. So you have to keep this in mind, because a lot of times you'll get approved for a credit card, but you may be paying anywhere from 22 up to 29% interest rate, and that's relatively high. Now, a lot of times when you see commercials, let's say Discover Card, for example, they will advertise 0% interest rate. And that's true, but what they're not telling you is those are for people who have A1 credit. And A1 credit is normally for people who have over a 750, over 800 credit score. So if you're in that credit score range, a lot of times your interest rate is going to be way lower than someone who's, let's say, have 650 credit score. 650 credit score is considered relatively fair with the credit bureaus. You know, good credit score is anything that's over 680, 680 going up to 770, 760, and then anything over that is considered excellent credit. So I want to say, when it pertains to three credit bureaus, I think a lot of times people need to tend to focus more on it, because being in a real estate professional, I can just tell you that when I meet with potential borrowers and I ask them the question, do you know your credit score? I always find it very interesting that people who have very good credit score know their credit score. Anyone who has over a 700 credit score, they know exactly what their credit score is. I'll say, what's your credit score? They'll say, oh, my credit score is 725. But people who tend to have not so good credit scores, they somehow don't know what their credit score is. I'll ask them, what is your credit score? I don't know. I haven't checked it in a while. And that is part of the problem. When you don't check your credit score in a while, anything can pop up on it. You can have an old cable bill that pop up on an old cell phone company who mistakenly put it on you because you have a similar name to one of their former customers. So this is the reason why we have to be very vigilantly and attentive to our credit, because anything can happen. The more that you stay on top of your credit, the more your score increases, the more you'll be proud to say what your credit score is. But a lot of times when you're not responsible with credit and you don't know what your credit score is, a lot of times it's on the lower end. That's what I found out dealing with so many people. So what I would like to do is I have the information for the three credit bureaus. I have it right there coming along. I'm going to leave it along the remainder of the show. But what I would rather people do is to reach out to all of these people: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Request your credit report. Look at your credit report, see what's on it. Anything that's over 2 years old, contest it, because sometimes some businesses go out of business, and even though it might be yours, you never know. And I would say to do that, because credit is very critical. Cash rules all, but in many cases people want to know your credit score just like they want to know your social media profile, and they want to know what's going on with you. This gives an indication as far as how you pay. I've also found that many people who tend to rent homes, when they have low credit, they always want to go through a private lender. A private landlord. The reason why they want to go through a private landlord is because they want to not always take their credit into consideration. The best thing to do will be to work on your credit. Once you work on your credit, it opens the door to so much more. So I wanted to talk that about the credit bureaus. Please reach out to those credit bureaus. Also, try to keep your credit cards at a low limit if you can. I understand life is life and for all of us, and I'm going to talk about life is life in a minute. I understand that sometimes you can't do that. You only can pay the bare minimum, and in some cases, you can't even pay the bare minimum. But one of the things that I also want you to do is to reach out to these companies, talk to them. Sometimes they have special incentives going on, savings. They can defer things and can help you out in a way. But if you can, keep your credit card balance under the 30 percentile mark and watch how your credit score increases. And in some cases, your credit limit will too. So these are some things I want you to do when it pertains to credit, your credit, and those are the three credit bureaus. Reach out to them. I'll be right back. All right. I'm gonna go to my Q&A before I go to my house of the week. Okay. Q&A. That means questions and answers. And if you have any questions, please always feel free to post them so I can ask them on the show as well, because you're not the only one who have questions. There's others too. So the first question is, if you find an abandoned building, hold on, let me reread this. If you find an abandoned property or land and you have to reach out to the owner with no response or mail being returned, what is the next possible step, or is there one to try to obtain that property or land? Let me reread it. If you find an abandoned property or land and you have reached out to the owner with no response or mail being returned, what is the next possible step, or is there one to try to obtain that property or land? The first step would be to check the tax record to see who owns it. A lot of times people own properties, they may rent it or they might be out of state. Plenty of people own multiple rental properties. So sometimes it could be abandoned because there's nobody in it. Um, Reach out for the local Google property record for the state that you're in, whether you're in DC, Maryland, or Virginia. Type in the address. A lot of times it will give you the homeowner's name. Okay. Then once you do that, there is a website called Ben Verified, BIEN verified.com, where you can actually find people on there that their numbers. So you can do that route too. If you cannot find them on any of those and everything, and if the property has been abandoned for so long, depends. Most likely, a mortgage company may have taken over, and it will eventually go into foreclosure if it's already not in foreclosure. A lot of times, banks are backed up when it pertains to information and records and getting in contact with people, and also with getting people served. So it's a process to everything. So it really just depends on how long. But if you feel like it's truly abandoned, you can always have a police officer do a welfare check. But if you're just trying to get that information to obtain that property or land, like I said, looking at the public records to get the tax record to find out the name on the property, and then from there going to Ben Verify to basically see if you can locate them that way. And then with social media these days, if you get people's name, if you type in people's names, a lot of times you can find a lot of people on social media these days. Even though some people are private and hidden, many people are not. So those are ways to do so. Okay, next question. Where do you see the biggest investment opportunity in this market and why? Where do you see the biggest investment opportunity in this market and why? Right now, in this current market, I see the biggest investment opportunities in purchasing. If you are a buyer and you can buy investment properties, the reason being is it's becoming more inventory than it is buyers. So buyers have leverage in many cases. Where before a few years ago, where there were more buyers than homes, it's becoming the opposite way. So now it's considered a buyer's market. So because it's a buyer's market, depending on if you're looking to invest, on top of that, prices can be negotiated in many cases. So the opportunity lies in you. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to buy a house to just live in? Are you trying to buy a house to invest in? If you want to buy several rental properties, because renting will always be lucrative because of the fact there's always renters out there, people looking to rent. Like I said, there are people who search for private landlords for a reason because they have Section 8 vouchers and they also have bad credit. That's why many of them do so. But the biggest opportunity in this market would be to take advantage of it being a buyer's market. And if you can buy several properties and negotiate the prices, that is the reason why, because it's your market, it's a buyer's market. The next question is, how do you determine the right listing price right now, and how often do you recommend price adjustments? How do you determine the right listing price right now, and how often do you recommend price adjustments? Right now, I recommend using me. Use me. Every house I touch turns to sold. That is my slogan, and it's been my slogan for a reason. Here's the thing. I studied the market. See, you have to, this is how you determine the right price, the right listing price for right now. You have to study the market. The market dictates everything. The market dictates everything. Not necessarily the seller, not necessarily the agent, not necessarily the house. The market does. But here's the thing. All those things play a huge factor as far as your house selling too. The house, of course, the seller, and the agent. Now, determining the right listing price right now is, like I said, once you study the market, and I don't want to give my secret away, but let me just say, study the market. And how often do I recommend a price adjustment? Again, many sellers, depending on their patient, if they can pack their patient in this current market, I would recommend, depending how long they can wait. If they can wait, every month. But if they can't wait, every week. So it really is always contingent upon the seller and what the price is, and also what's the surrounding market with them. These are the things that will determine list price and also price recommendation adjustments. That's a great question. And the last question is, how do you find homes that aren't listed yet? How do you find homes that aren't listed yet? That is a great question. The way that you find a home is you have to seek out whatever area you're looking for a home, and you have to reach out to the homeowners. And in many cases, as a real estate professional like myself, there's a lot of off-market properties that I am privy to, and that I get the houses. They're not listed, but they are available for sale. So you will really have to talk to people like myself, talk to investors, and reach out to homeowners of a home that you actually are looking to get. That's how you get it. Depends on if you have patience and drive to do those things. Some people don't have the patience. They want to know, they want a house yesterday. But if you're looking to find a house that's not listed yet, you have to reach out to the homeowners in the areas that you're looking for, or speak with a real estate professional like myself or investor. All right. Those are great questions. Now I'm about to do the house of the week. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right, y'all. Take a look at this nice house. This is a lovely house in Potomac, Maryland. Single family home. Check out the specs on it. It's exterior, circular driveway, side view. There's a pool with a Roman portico with copper roof. Nice pool. Grand foyer. Unique shaped spiral staircase with beautiful details. View of the front entrance. Sensational walnut library. Got your butler over there in the corner. You can always get a real butler too. Formal living space, bath and light, beautiful lighting for those of us who like sunlight, such as myself. Parlor with access to grand terrace. Formal dining area. Exquisite plaster molding. Butler pantry with the wine cellar. Family room with wraparound windows. This is a view of the gourmet kitchen. Former powder room, upstairs landing, primary suite with marble fireplace. Look at the closet. This is one of three closets. This is the second bedroom with a bathroom. This is the third bedroom. It's the fourth bedroom with a balcony and bath. Spacious cedar closet. Very spacious light filled laundry that's upstairs. This is the lower level former landing area. This is an area that you can use for the disco ballroom and game room. Game room is right there. Lower level sitting area with a bar with an entrance to the pool. Lower level like an apartment, staircase. Huge spacious closet on the lower level. Downstairs like an apartment. Another bathroom. 4-car garage right there. Yes, that's Potomac, Maryland. If you're interested in more information and more details, please reach out to me so we can discuss the basics of everything. So I'll be right back with my topic of the week. All right. So again, please follow me on all social media platforms. If you're not, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Threads, Snapchat, TikTok, LinkedIn, and YouTube. All right. So basically, my topic of the week is life is lifing. I want to talk about this because so many of us are going through so much in the world today. You know, the devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy, but you have to understand that God is much more powerful than the devil. And we're all dealing with something, whether it's health issues, whether it's high bills, whether it's issues on the job security, family members, bad kids, messy friends, messy situations, um, relationship issues. Everybody's dealing with something. And life seems to be lifing for so many of us. And sometimes you get so irritated and frustrated. But I just want to say that in the moments that it seems like there's so much chaos and confusion going on in the world, just stand still. Take a moment to be still. Just be still during that moment. You know, life is not easy for anyone. No one's never going to say it's going to be easy. But at the same time, no one owes anyone anything. You know, the only person that you may owe something to may be your parents, maybe your kids, maybe even your spouse. But outside of that, you don't owe anyone anything. But here's the thing, you owe yourself more than you owe them. Because if you're not in good health, if your mental is not good, you're no good to no one. So even though life is life for all of us, no matter what you're going through, somebody's going through much worse. Here's the thing, and I've said this before, there are people in the hospital right now who are never going to leave the hospital that would trade places with you. There are people in nurses' homes who can barely walk, barely move, on medication all day. There are people who are no longer with us that would trade places with you. And I know sometimes people say, yeah, we'll let them trade places. But the reality is every day that we wake up is another chance to get it right. Every day that we wake up is God giving us another opportunity. Because even though life is frustrating, there have been moments in all of our life where we had some good moments. And here's the thing. We don't know if those good moments are around the corner again. In many cases, they are. And a lot of times, the mess and confusion and things we're going through in our life, we brought on ourselves. And we can fix that. All you have to do is be conscious of what you're doing, what you're saying, who you're doing with stuff with, and who you're doing saying things to. Here's what I want to say about life. Life happens to everyone. So before you be mean to someone, before you talk down on someone, before you criticize someone, Understand you don't know what they're going through. Just like there are moments when you're going through things and people don't know. And there's times when you're going through things, it seems like everything's hitting you at once. The bills coming, the kids coming, the spouse coming, your job coming, everything's coming. You're sitting in traffic and traffic is church. Person cut you off, blowing a horn at you. Seems like everything's going. When something fall down, everything is falling down. Because life is lifing for everyone. But I say during the moments that life is lifing for everyone, please have compassion for your fellow friends, brethren, sisters. Have compassion. Because the one thing that I see out here is people want to be so critical, so judgmental, and everything like they're so perfect. The only perfect person on this earth was Jesus. He was the only perfect person. Every one of us, we've all been given grace by God, whether we realize it or not. So just like God has given us grace, give others grace too. You never know what people are going through. People are going through a lot. So again, while life is life, and even for you, take the moment to do something fun for you. You know, if you like comedy, go laugh, because laughter is really medicine for the soul. If you like music, go listen to your music. If you like the water, go to the water. And even if you can't go to the water, go on YouTube and type in views of the ocean. We can all get away from reality for a moment, even though reality sometimes is just crazy. So while life is lifing, I want people to please take the time to understand that without your sanity and health, you're no good to you. So please be good to you, of all people, before you can be good to others. And even though others are not considerate of you, don't care about you, or may not even show that they love you, still wish them well, because guess what? Life deals with us all, and all of us get what we're supposed to get, whether it's good or bad. So life is life, and for some, because it's just life. Life is life, and for others, because it's the karma that they put out there. So make sure that you give good karma, and one of the ways you can give good karma is just being nice to people, being, what I'm saying, considerate of people. Again, you don't know what people are going through. And at the same time, even when things are bad for you, there are people who would trade with you in a heartbeat. Think I'm lying? Go visit a grave. Those people would trade your life in a heartbeat. Think I'm lying? Go visit a hospital. Go visit a nursing home, and think people won't trade with you in a heartbeat. People will trade with you. But you have to be a little bit more appreciative of just being in the moment. Yes, none of us are perfect, but we're all worth it. So please remember that. I'll be back with my recap. Yeah, so here's the recap. I talked about the 3 credit bureaus. I have the numbers strolling at the bottom. Please make sure you reach out to them so that you can get your free annual credit report. And I want to also say to you, please follow me on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Threads, Snapchat, TikTok, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and YouTube. I'm on all of them as Damon the Agent. Please follow me. And while you also reaching out for these with this number at the bottom, getting your free credit report, please pay for your credit score. And take the time monthly to analyze your credit reports, because it's very critical to you. And before I leave, I want to leave you all with this commercial of mine. You ready?
We sure could use the money.
Time for some upgrades. We're pregnant.
Oh my goodness, I need to downsize.
We buy houses for cash as is.
Damon the Agent. A name you can trust. All right, so I want to thank you all for joining me. Please be safe. Have a great weekend. And wow, time is flying. Next time I see y'all, it'll be October. Have a great weekend, everybody.